Tonight, you are exactly where you need to be. This gentle meditation is designed to help you unwind, quiet your mind, and slip into deep, restorative relaxation. As you listen, allow your body to soften, your breath to slow, and your thoughts to gently drift away so you can fully surrender to rest. Let's begin by finding a position that tells your whole body it is safe to soften, because comfort is the doorway through which calm loves to enter. Let your hips feel supported, and let your spine lengthen as if a gentle thread of light were lifting the crown of your head without effort or strain. Allow your shoulders to ease downward and slightly back, and let the space across your chest open just enough for breath to move like a quiet tide. Before we drift any further, I would love to know where you are listening from, because our little circle stretches across cities, towns, and cozy corners of the world. If it feels comfortable, please leave a friendly comment with your location, since seeing those places appear is like watching lanterns glow on a peaceful map, and it helps us feel warmly connected. Thank you for adding your light to this space, and thank you for helping this practice feel welcoming to everyone who arrives. Close your eyes gently if that feels right, or soften your gaze toward the floor, and give yourself permission to move more slowly than usual. Inhale through the nose as if you are smelling calming tea, and exhale through the mouth as if you are fogging a cool window with tenderness. Let the next breath lengthen a little, and let the breath after that become even easier, because gentleness is allowed to set the tempo tonight. Begin a simple rhythm that your nervous system recognizes as safe and kind, and let it be in for a smooth count of 4. Pause for a soft heartbeat, and out for a slower count of 6. Repeat this gentle pattern with patience rather than pressure, and notice how every longer exhale invites your whole body to release a little more of what is no longer needed. If counting feels like work, allow the numbers to fade, and simply follow the sensation of air arriving and air departing at an unhurried pace. Bring your attention to your face and check for small places that would appreciate softening, because even tiny muscles relax when met with kindness. Let the space between your eyebrows widen. Let your eyes rest in their sockets, and let the corners of your eyes settle into warmth and ease. Invite your jaw to loosen. Rest your tongue gently behind your top teeth, and notice how your mouth becomes a sanctuary for quiet. Let your breath travel down the back of your throat like a calm stream, washing into your chest in slow ripples that smooth the inner shoreline. With each inhale, picture your ribs expanding like a lantern, accepting just enough light. And with each exhale, picture the lantern dimming a touch while staying warm and steady. You do not need to push for depth, because patience will carry you deeper than effort ever could. Place one hand over your heart and one hand over your belly if that feels soothing, and let your palms become friendly witnesses to the breath's gentle rhythm. Feel the heart meeting your hand, and feel the belly responding with a soft rise and fall, like two small boats anchored in a safe harbor. Offer yourself a quiet thank you for arriving, because presence is a gift that asks for nothing and gives so much. Sweep your awareness across your shoulders and neck as if smoothing a favorite blanket, and imagine a warm breeze moving from the base of your skull across your collarbones and into your upper arms. With the next exhale, picture threads of tension untying themselves and floating away on the gentle current of your breath. Let your shoulder blades slide a little closer to the back ribs, as if settling into well-shaped cushions designed precisely for rest. Turn your attention to your arms, upper arms, elbows, forearms, wrists, and palms, and notice any places that still feel like they are working when they could be unwinding. Imagine your arms growing a shade heavier, like sand settling in a clear jar, and let that sensation signal to your whole system that pause is not only possible but welcome. Allow your fingers to soften and notice the subtle hum of calm that arrives when the hands consent to stillness. Guide awareness to your upper back and then along your spine, and picture a gentle golden thread weaving through each vertebra, offering warmth and alignment without demanding perfection. Let this thread loosen the muscles that hold your posture, so structure remains while effort fades, and give your breath permission to move lower with ease. You are not required to hold yourself together here, because the surface beneath you knows how to hold you without conditions. Invite softness into your belly and release any protective bracing that gathered through the day, since your body listens carefully to the message of safety you are sending. If you notice resistance, meet it with warmth rather than hurry, and allow the exhale to carry away even a small degree of guarding. Imagine the belly as a quiet harbor welcoming a gentle tide, and let each breath be a boat arriving home without rush. Travel into your hips as if entering a familiar room that understands you, and imagine the joints widening with breath, creating a little more space in every direction. Let the gluteal muscles soften like warm clay, relaxing into a supportive mold, and sense how comfort grows when large muscles choose ease over contraction. Remind yourself that spaciousness is not indulgent, because spaciousness is the ground from which clarity tends to grow. Move your attention down your thighs and feel them lengthen with the out-breath, releasing effort the way unknotted ropes fall into neat, easy coils. Let your knees grow warm and kind, and let your calves unwind as if careful hands were smoothing them from knee to ankle with calm intention. Bring kindness to your ankles and the arches of your feet, and imagine standing tomorrow with steadier ease because of the rest you offer yourself now. Return gently to the breath, and notice the growing sense of being held by this moment, rather than pushed by the next one, which has not arrived and does not need your energy yet. Let your attention rest in the simple miracle of air moving in and air moving out, and let your heart register the sweetness of doing only one thing at a time. The present is not asking you to perform, because the present is inviting you to experience. If thoughts wander in, greet them kindly, and let them pass like small boats drifting across a wide lake that mirrors a gentle evening sky. You can wave at each boat and watch it drift beyond the horizon of attention, and then return to the quiet shoreline of your breath with genuine relief. This practice is not the absence of thoughts, because this practice is the presence of a kinder relationship with them. Now that your body is settling, set a soft intention that feels nourishing and real, such as welcoming patience, embracing gentleness, or remembering that you are already enough. Hold this intention as lightly as a feather in an open palm, and trust it to travel with your breath wherever it needs to go. If your intention wants to change, let it change freely, because responsiveness is also a form of wisdom. Imagine a small candle warming the space at the center of your chest, and let its flame be steady rather than bright, because steadiness keeps promises quietly. With an inhale, see the light expand just enough to glow behind your ribs, and with an exhale, feel it share warmth across your shoulders and down your arms to your fingertips. Let the next breath invite this calm light down your spine and across your lower back, softening leftover vigilance with patient care. Include the sounds around you as companions rather than obstacles, because the world does not need to disappear for you to rest inside it. If you notice a hum, a distant voice, a door settling, or the hush between sounds, let each sensation become a bell that invites you back to breath and body. Let every sound prove that peace is strong enough to hold life, and that you are strong enough to rest in the middle of living. If emotion arises, welcome it like a guest who does not need to explain themselves to be offered a chair and a warm cup of tea, and let it stay or go as it wishes. If numbness appears instead, greet it with equal kindness, because numbness is often a tired guardian that loosens when safety is felt rather than forced. Trust that presence itself is medicine, and that being with what is will teach your body how to be with what comes next. Breathe in the quality you would like to cultivate: calm, steadiness, or gentleness, and breathe out the burdens you choose to set down for a while. Breathe in and feel room being made, and breathe out and feel the space being honored, like a quiet room that invites you to sit without explanation. Each cycle completes a small circle of care, and many small circles form a generous field. Place the lightest smile on your lips if that helps, and notice how this simple gesture can shift the weather of the mind without any fanfare. Let that hint of warmth travel to your eyes and down your throat and into your heart, and feel how the body responds to kindness like a flower opening to soft rain. There is no requirement to be joyful here, because there is simply permission to be honest and gentle. Before we continue, I want to invite you again to share where you are listening from, because those little notes become constellations we draw together each night. A town name becomes a shining dot, a city becomes a soft cluster, and a countryside becomes a wide ribbon of calm, and each one helps another listener feel less alone. Thank you for drawing a new star on our map, and thank you for being part of this quiet community of breath and kindness. If your posture wants to adjust, let it adjust slowly so that your nervous system hears the message that comfort is increasing rather than being removed. Allow your position to be dynamic within a quiet range, because sometimes rest deepens when we are willing to find a better angle. Once ease is found, let stillness return like a friendly cat curling in your lap, present without demanding attention. Return once more to your breath and notice how it is softer now, arriving with less drama and leaving with more grace, like a familiar guest who knows where the cups are kept. Let the inhale gather steadiness without strain, and let the exhale deliver comfort without ceremony, because beauty lives in the simplest rhythms. Your body is learning that quiet is trustworthy, and your mind is relieved to be invited rather than commanded. Bring gentle attention to the crown of your head and let it soften as if a window were opening to a friendly sky. Then sweep attention down the forehead and temples with a light inner hand. Continue across the cheekbones and ears, the jaw and throat, the collarbones and shoulders, the upper arms and elbows, the forearms and wrists, and the palms and fingertips. Notice where warmth gathers, notice where coolness lingers, and notice how simply noticing becomes a form of care. Travel down the back and chest, across the ribs and belly, into the hips and pelvis, and then slowly along the thighs, knees, calves, ankles, heels, arches, and toes. As you arrive at the toes, imagine a gentle wave washing from crown to soles, and with the next exhale, let that wave carry tension away like small leaves floating downstream. Allow a second wave to return with the inhale, bringing steadiness and warmth, and let it settle through you like golden evening light. If a to-do list wanders in, place it inside an imaginary journal with a ribbon bookmark, and set the journal gently on the bedside table of your awareness with a promise to return tomorrow. Let the promise be sincere yet light, and notice how the mind relaxes when it trusts that nothing important will be lost while you rest. Give the journal a kind pat of assurance, the way you might reassure a helpful friend that their efforts can pause for the night. Let your breath become almost effortless now, like rocking in a hammock strung between two friendly trees, and let the exhale lengthen without strain. Feel the hammock of your breath cradle your ribs and your heart, and notice how the gentle sway steadies your thoughts with patient rhythm. You are carried by a cadence older than worry and kinder than urgency. If you enjoy a quiet mantra, you might pair a soft phrase with your breathing and let it move easily through you. Perhaps you choose calm on the inhale and release on the exhale, or perhaps you choose here on the inhale and resting on the exhale. Keep the words simple and friendly so they can dissolve when you no longer need them. We will close this introduction with 3 slow, generous breaths taken together, and you can follow the rhythm that feels honest and kind. Breathe in and imagine receiving steadiness, and breathe out and imagine releasing hurry from your shoulders, jaw, and belly. Breathe in and welcome softness into the spaces behind the heart, and breathe out and let softness expand through your whole body. For the final breath of this opening, inhale and gather exactly what is helpful, and exhale and let the rest drift like feathers beyond concern, because you do not need to carry anything more tonight. Rest in the small quiet that follows, and feel how it holds you with the patience of an old friend who adores your company just as you are. Know that your practice has already begun beautifully, and that you may continue into deeper stillness or gentle sleep with confidence and care. Now, let's fly across the sleepy night sky and feel how those words lift us like a gentle breeze cupping open palms beneath the heart, inviting us to rise without effort and wander where calm is born. As your breath settles into an easy rhythm, let the room around you soften at the edges, while the familiar shapes blur kindly, and the ceiling becomes a quiet canvas waiting for starlight. There is no need to push away the day, since the night knows how to gather what remains and carry it for you with patience. So your only task is to breathe and be carried. We glide upward as if the floor itself has become a warm current, and the roof unlatches like a thoughtful window opening to a sky that has been expecting you with a smile you can feel but cannot see. Below us, streets fold into silver threads, and windows blink with the last kindly rituals of evening, while the world hums like a distant lullaby that has forgotten all sharpness. Every breath is a lantern, and each lantern lights a small step forward across the dusk, until the steps become a floating path that is as natural as your pulse. The first cloud we meet is shaped like a pillow with velvet edges, and it parts to let us through a soft corridor that smells faintly of rain on warm stone and bedtime tea on a quiet table. Moonlight settles on your cheeks like calm hands, and the tiny glitter inside the cloud walls flickers in a kind pattern that your shoulders understand as permission to unclench. You are safe in this wide hush, and the sky itself becomes an easy cradle that sways exactly to the pace of your exhale. Ahead, the moon tilts closer the way a friend leans toward a whisper, and she pours a slender ribbon of light across a distant lake that mirrors the night with perfect tenderness. We angle toward that reflective ribbon, and with every exhale, the path lengthens like a slow smile, while the lake glows as though it recognizes you from another evening of kindness. Thoughts drift to the far shore as if they have their own sleepy boats, and you wave to them without needing to follow, since the current knows exactly where to carry you. A mild wind arrives with the temperature of reassurance, brushing the hair at your temples and smoothing the brow with a steady hand, and it smells of pine needles, cool stone, and the last roses of summer. Let that wind move through your chest as a long breath, untying the small knots that collect where busyness meets tenderness, because tonight tender wins with quiet grace. Your heartbeat joins the wind's rhythm without debate, and your jaw discovers how to rest. And these discoveries keep unfolding like soft pages turning themselves. We slip between two drifting clouds that hold a waterfall suspended in the air, which seems impossible until you notice how the night enjoys small miracles that ask for no applause. The water falls in slow ribbons of silver and blush, and each ribbon hums at a low frequency that your ribs read like a friendly instruction manual for relaxation. We pass behind the curtain, and the mist kisses your eyelids with cool punctuation marks that say, "Pause here, linger here, stay as long as you like." On the other side of the waterfall, a meadow of cloud grass stretches into a gentle horizon, and bellflowers at ankle height glow with patient light that spells simple messages your body already believes. Each bell rings when the breeze touches it, and the notes join in a small choir that sings, "You are safe, you are enough, you are welcome to let go." We float low and let the bells sing to our ankles and our calves and the arches of our feet until those faithful walkers relax as if the meadow knows their names. To the left, koi constellations swim in a slow spiral, flicking their starry tails and leaving ribbons of calm that drift toward your chest like letters sealed with lavender wax. A golden rose koi circles near and draws a soft halo over your heart, and that halo sinks inward like warm light finding a window, because kindness is good at locating openings. You do not have to open the letter to know what it says, since your shoulders are already spelling its message in the language of release. We drift toward a floating village of moss-roofed cottages, where round windows breathe warm light into the night, and seashell chimes make a music that teaches the mind to sway instead of sprint. A kettle sings in one kitchen, and even from the sky you can smell honey and chamomile and the faint sweetness of pears left to ripen on a wooden sill. We pass overhead like a friendly cloud that does not bring rain, and the village thanks us for our gentleness with a single bell tone that lands on your collarbones and settles them kindly. From the square below, a path of lanterns floats upward, forming a slow stairway to a lighthouse that stands on a small island of rock carried by the night itself. The door is ajar, as if the keeper stepped out for a moment to fetch another blanket, and the balcony rail is warm from the memories of other travelers who leaned here and learned how to breathe again. We rest our forearms on that rail and listen to wood that understands weather and patience, while the lantern turns and paints a calm circle across the clouds, then another, then another. The beam passes over your chest, and when it does, It leaves behind a soft ring that feels like a hand placed there by someone who knows where comfort belongs. Each pass lays a blessing that lingers even after the light moves on, and the blessings stack like pillows until your heart reclines. From this quiet height, the day that felt large becomes smaller and kinder, like a map folded neatly with its corners smoothed by time and understanding. We push off gently and glide toward an archway made by two patient trees that have learned to grow in the sky, their branches laced together by threads of moonlight that cannot tangle. As we pass under the branches, the leaves release slow showers of silver dust that feel like soft hands, untangling loose thoughts at the base of your skull. You would thank the leaves if they required thanks, although they prefer to work without praise, which is the style of many quiet helpers. Beyond the arch, a pavilion of woven starlight hovers above a slow river of cloud, and on the low table sits a small guest book and a pen that writes in melted moon. We sign the guest book with a promise to be gentle with ourselves when morning returns, and the book closes on its own as if satisfied, while a candle agrees by brightening the smallest amount. There is a teapot here as well, steaming with a fragrance that reminds you of a memory you adore but cannot place, which is the mind's way of handing the heart a treat without explanation. We continue along the cloud bank until a bridge appears, built from overlapping constellations that hum a tone you feel through your ribs more than you hear with your ears. Crossing is unhurried, and the river beneath mirrors your stillness with loyalty, while every step releases a sigh from the soles of your feet that announces relief like a quiet trumpet. On the far side, the bridge gives a tiny bow as if wishing you an easeful night, and the stars that formed it drift back to their patient positions. A grove of twilight-colored trees gathers just beyond, and these trees keep small hollows in their trunks for the day's leftover puzzles, which they sort with kindness while you sleep. You place a thought there that has nibbled at your attention, and the tree nods and tucks it in like a librarian who knows exactly which shelf will serve it best by morning. Lightness travels down your spine when you let the puzzle go, and the space it leaves fills with the sweeter air of rest. We rise once more and exhale together, and the night exhales with us, and the horizon widens as if to say there is always room here for one more calm breath. Between two clouds, a field of luminous thistle opens, and each seed head sends a tiny star upward, floating as slowly as forgiveness, until the sky wears a scarf woven from them. You watch your breath add a single delicate thread to that scarf, and for a moment it feels as if the sky is wearing your calm like a gift. We settle onto a quilt laid carefully across a flatter cloud, stitched with squares of indigo, plum, and warm ivory, and the quilt knows your shape already because quilts remember with kindness. Your back melts into its patient thickness, and the fabric warms beneath your shoulder blades and hips, while the edges tuck themselves around your rib cage like a promise a parent keeps. Above us, the koi constellations slow their swimming until they become commas, and commas remind sentences and bodies that pausing is part of meaning. The waterfall we passed earlier has turned into fine mist, and the mist writes blessings on the air that appear only in the way your breath lengthens and your forehead smooths. Somewhere afar, a small bell sounds like silver on china, and the tone lands on your sternum and dissolves there like sugar in warm tea. Your mouth softens at the corners, and that softness flows into your throat and then onward into your chest, while gratitude quietly checks in without demanding attention. If a memory arrives with edges, place it into a paper boat folded from moonlight, and set it gently on the slow river that passes at the quilt's edge like a ribbon of peace. The river carries the boat not away from you, but into a softer distance, where the edges learn to round themselves and the weight learns to be lighter. You realize you may keep what is gentle and release what is sharp, and that realization finds your lower back and loosens it by a degree that matters. Listen to the quiet choir of night. Leaf bells, shell chimes, distant wings, composing a hymn of inclusion where every sound belongs and none need be judged. Even the near silence becomes a member of that choir, offering rests and spaces that hold your next breath like a cradle carved from hush. Your breathing chooses a slower tempo, and the mind follows like a child guided by a trusted hand through a friendly garden at dusk. We lie together in this meadow of altitude, and the lighthouse turns deliberately, and each rotation feels like a page turning in a book that has only good endings. In the margins of that book, there are notes that say you are allowed to rest, you are allowed to feel, you are allowed to begin again as many times as you need. The notes are written in your own handwriting, which is how you know they are true, even if you forgot when the day was loud. If emotion rises like a tide, let it sit beside you on the quilt without commentary, and offer it the corner of the blanket and the shelter of your steady breath. If numbness arrives instead, invite it too, since numbness is a tired guardian who softens when it finally trusts that the night will keep watch. Your role is companionship rather than control, and companionship is the kind of love that helps everything relax. Now imagine a candle glowing at the center of your chest. Not bright, not dramatic, just faithful and warm, as if it had promised long ago to stay whenever you were ready to be still. With each inhale, the candle collects a little more steadiness, and with each exhale, it shares that steadiness with your shoulders, your throat, your face, and your hands. The light reaches your belly with a kindness that unwinds old bracing, and then it travels to your hips where it teaches the joints a new, gentler language. Let your attention travel from crown to toes like a soft tide that knows every inlet, and notice how the tide returns different than it left, carrying away what is not required and delivering what is. Your toes answer with warmth, your arches answer with trust, your ankles answer with stillness, and your calves answer with a loosening that feels like a respectful bow. The knees find alignment by listening to the breath. The thighs accept the quilt's sincere support, and the hips quietly celebrate the decision to rest. Return to the crown of your head and picture a little window opening onto a field of gentle night, while a breeze passes through and leaves lavender where impatience used to live. The breeze gathers the last fragments of effort, the way a kindly librarian gathers stray pages, and it returns the shelves of your mind to order without scolding. You recognize this order as the kind you never could have organized by force, because it belongs to peace and arrives only when invited. We will not hurry the landing. since grace prefers unhurried endings that echo like soft footfalls down a warm hallway, fading into the safety of home. Your eyelids learn the comfort of closing, your cheeks accept the ease of stillness, and your jaw agrees that silence can be music when the heart is ready to listen. The quilt remembers your shape more precisely with every breath, and the sky tucks us in with a patience learned from watching oceans practice calm for centuries. If the mind asks for reassurance, tell it a small truth, which is that the moon will keep watch, and the lighthouse will turn, and the koi will swim their commas, and everything will be here when morning arrives. Truth travels gently tonight without big announcements, and it chooses the back road through the body where the nerves are grateful for light traffic. You can follow that road if you wish, although it is just as fine to let it carry you without attention, which is how many good journeys are made. Let your breath now become the softest tide you can imagine, arriving with friendliness and receding with grace, while the harbor lights of sleep brighten one by one along the inner shoreline. Each light is a mercy you have known. Each light is a kindness you have given or received, and together they outline the safe curve of a bay where your boat can rest without guard. You moor there simply by agreeing to nothing more than this moment, which is the simplest and bravest agreement of the day. As a final kindness to yourself, whisper a thank you to your body for carrying you and to your breath for staying. Spoken silently in the language of long exhales and softened shoulders. Gratitude moves through you like warm tea poured into cool hands, spreading outward until even the small muscles behind your eyes nod yes. The night hears your thanks and answers with deeper quiet, which is always the perfect reply. Close your eyes completely if they are not already closed, and let your awareness rest on the candle in your chest and the steady support beneath you, which are enough landmarks for a peaceful voyage. Allow the next exhale to carry you inward, and allow the one after that to carry you farther, and allow the one after that to happen without any need to notice. Sleep will meet you exactly where you are, and it will walk beside you so gently that you will not feel the moment it takes your hand. That ends tonight's journey, but you're welcome to stay a bit longer.